Welcome to Saturday Sunya Talk. Today we are going to discuss the Sotapatti Vagga, and with me is our expert Dr. Rajesh Savera, who is famous Ayurvedacharya and psychotherapist. Welcome, doctor.
Yeah, hi. Good morning.
Yeah. So we will continue our study on Sotapatti Vagga, doctor. Before doing that, let's have our meditation 9 to 0. Yes. So thanks to the translation department of Sunyati International Foundation, and thanks to the Dhanacharya Nagajiva and you, doctor, for supporting this project. So we will continue the linked discourses, the group of linked discourses beginning with the aggregates, and we are discussing the linked discourses on views, the chapter on the Sotapanna. SN 24.7 Cause, the Hetu Sutta. At Savatthi, because when what exists by clinging to what, by adhering to what, does a such a ditthi view arise, there is no cause, no condition for the defilement of beings. Beings are defiled without cause or condition. There is no cause, no condition for the purification of beings. Beings are purified without cause or condition. There is no power, no energy, no personal strength, no personal exertion. All beings, all living things, all creatures, all life force are without power, without strength, without virya, energy. They are shaped by destiny, circumstance, and nature, and they experience sukha dukkha, pleasure, and pain in the six classes of existence. Bhante, our Dhamma are rooted in the Bhagava. Because when Rupa exists by Upadaya, that is clinging to Rupa, by adhering to Rupa, such a ditthi arises. There is no cause, no condition. They experience Sukha Dukkha in the six classes of existence. When Vedana exists, when Sanya exists, when Sankhara exists, when Vijnana exists, by Upadaya to consciousness, by adhering to consciousness, such a ditthi arises. There is no cause, no condition. They experience Sukha Dukkha in the six classes of existence. What do you think, Bhikkhus? Is Rupa Nitya or Anitya? Anitya Bhante, subject to change. Could such a ditthi arise without Upadaya? There is no cause, there is no condition for experiencing pleasure and pain. No Bhante. Is Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana permanent or impermanent? Anitya Bhante. Could such a ditthi arise without Upadaya? There is no cause, there is no condition for experiencing pleasure and pain. No Bhante. That which is seen, heard, sensed, known, attained, sought, and considered in the mana, is that Nitya or Anitya? Anitya Bhante. Could such a ditthi arise without Upadaya? There is no cause, there is no condition for experiencing pleasure and pain. No Bhante. When bhikkhus and Arya Shavaka, who has abundant doubt in these matters, has abundant doubt in dukkha, in the origin of dukkha, in the cessation of dukkha, and in the path leading to the cessation of dukkha, such a one is called an Arya Savaka, who is Sotapanna, stream enterer, no longer bound to the lower world, fixed in destiny, with enlightenment as their destination. This was the seventh and first sutta of the day, doctor. they are talking about the causes and the condition. The views that were propagating at that time were, if we go back to the first slide, because when what exists by clinging to what, by adhering to what, such a ditthi arise, there is no cause, no condition for the defilement of beings. Beings are defiled without cause or condition. Now they are talking about the defilement of beings, and there is no connection of any existential material here, like there is no cause also and there is no supporting conditions also, so that defilement of beings will exist. At the same time, purification also of beings exist also. There is no power, no energy, no personal strength, no personal exertion. So this is tending towards a nihilistic view, doctor. So all beings and all the creatures and all life force are without power, without strength, without energy. And here the main thing is focused is on destiny, नसीब, जो बोलते हैं, circumstance and nature. And with this, everybody experiences the sukha and dukha. And later, as Bhagwan is very skillful to expound the Dhamma here. Here they are, it is said that if there is no cause and no condition, then there will not be Sukha and Dukkha, which will exist in 6 classes of existence, and its connection to the Panchaskanda has been expounded here. But the main thing here is, we believe most of the time we are shaped by the destiny, and it's your destiny thinking, and it is so strong that we tend to believe it, and becomes a strong belief system also. There are circumstance also and nature also, and with which we make our world, we experience sukha and dukkha. So
So, but in a way, this was the view that was prevalent at that time. Imagine a tree that is loaded with 100 mangoes. Okay, and every time you take a mango, the taste of one of the fruit is sweeter, the other is less sweeter. Okay, so where is the fault of the fruit in it? Is that fruit done anything? Isn't it the destiny? Isn't it the circumstances? Isn't it the nature of the fruit as it is? Like a diamond in a coal mine. So out of all the stones there, out of all the coal, something becomes a diamond and the others. So what could be the reason? So technically what they are saying is that the defilements of human beings are not because of certain cause or conditions. They are just based on the nature of things. It is like that. And because there are circumstances in every era, situation, that because of the circumstances such beings are born, and you go through that being, and then it's your destiny. That's the view that they are holding. It is nothing that you are to be blamed with. You are not the reason for anything. You are just going through a part of destiny, a fate that is playing on you, and you are the one who is receiving it. Just go through it. That's it. Nothing to worry, nothing to blame. At the end, the defilement is not yours, and you need not worry about it. So just keep on living the way it is. Here is an idea where they are saying that there is no you. Again, in a sense, there is no power, there is no energy, no personal strength, no personal exertion. Do not put yourself into the picture as the one who is the doer, and hence, in a way, it is a non-self view. Okay, and it becomes a challenge here. Suddenly you are telling that it's just the happening, and if everything is a happening, why worry about it? Why take the stress about it? Just let it be. And this is what Buddha is asking. What do you think, bhikshus? And now anybody who listens to this is not going to argue with this, right? Because it's a very strong view, and this view was prevalent at those days also. This is a kind of a nihilistic view, because who has seen what is the cause for today's this thing? You cannot see for example, you cannot see ghee or clarified butter and know that it has come from milk, right? You don't know, because if you had not known it and you just see ghee, you see, oh, maybe it is just the nature of thing, whatever thing it was before, now this is ghee. So this was the view. So if anything is right now in a particular state, it is because it is destined to be so, because it's the circumstances that have brought that thing into existence, and Because that's the nature of things. Why does gold look yellow? Why does it shine? There's no reason. I cannot explain why. There's no reason for this. It is the nature of things. So now you're suddenly having destiny, circumstances, and nature as the basis on which you are concluding your decision. And this is a view. So Buddha is asking, do you understand, Bhikshus? What do you think about this? So they say, yeah, our knowledge, our understanding is based on you. If you can teach us.
Also, many times, doctor, it so happens that if you have taken so much efforts and efforts have been taken, then and if that project get failed or you are not successful in that goal, then we tend to prompt ourselves, or somebody else will prompt us that oh, it may not be your destiny to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
So here again, you are blaming it to destiny, circumstances, and nature. And if you remember the Diamond Sutra, Buddha says, keep yourself away from self, people,
being,
then being,
existence,
and existence. Do not use any of these to define your actions. Okay, your actions should be devoid of this. So here again he's saying, why does a person have such a view? Is because he is holding on to or clinging on to rupa. Something he is holding on to, and once you cling on to or adhere to rupa, okay, you develop such a view, right? And that's exactly what it is. Now, so what is your view about things, rupa? That rupa is nothing. Now that's a view, and because of that, you have these nihilistic ideas and all concepts about destiny, circumstances, and nature, and the randomness in the perfection. I think that's where the problem here is, and that is why again Buddha talks about the Panchaskandha. Roop, Vedana, Sadhana, Sanskar, Vigyan. Why? Because these are the bases on which we hold on to things, cling on to things, and then form views. But if you want to be in a state of view free, no view at all, okay, not that having a view of nothingness or having the view of everything else, a view of absolutely having no view is the real view that you should have. And here Buddha is telling that. And how does he tell this? Is he again reminding that what is impermanence? Everything that you are holding on to is based on something that is either of the Panchaskandha, and then these Panchaskandhas are basically, impermanent nature. They are empty in nature. One who understands this, then the view based on that is also going to be empty in nature. That's also going to be impermanent. And when you are holding on to something impermanent, you cannot define a statement and make a permanent statement. And here it is very clearly said. So the clinging here is on the impermanence, and hence it's a wrong view.
Doctor, you talked about not having that, when it comes to Panchaskandha, it's impermanent. And we are dealing here with the nihilistic view. Also, at the same time, Panchaskandha are in empty nature. We're talking about emptiness, Shunyata here. So, how nihilistic view and Shunyata varies?
Oh, nihilistic means one is saying that I have a bag, okay, which is empty. Makes sense, right? The bag is empty. One is saying there is no bag. No bag is absolutely foolish. Then how do you carry your vegetables? How do you carry your things? No, he's saying there is no bag. Then that's absolutely wrong view, right? Having a bag that is completely filled, and that's also a wrong view, right? Having the bag filled on the basis when it is to be filled, when it is not, flexibility, the impermanence, that today this bag is carrying oranges, tomorrow it's carrying potatoes, it's based on situation, circumstances, whatever it is, based on conditioning, the bag is going to take its shape, right? And that's why the bag being empty means having no conditional state, okay, remaining in the unconditional state. Yeah, that's emptiness. Emptiness means no thingness. No thingness and nothingness are two different things. People try to say nothingness means absolutely, nothing. Then that's a nihilistic view, wrong view. Okay, then only this thing, that's a fixed view, and that's also wrong view. Based on situations, circumstances, conditions, your view keeps on always changing, like a camera keeps on auto-focusing depending on the object that it is locked with, right? Similarly, when we see the world, we do our duty, our mind, if it keeps in that autofocus status on the goal that we want to achieve, it will keep on changing. It's depending on sometimes far, near, here, there, everywhere. It keeps on modifying itself. Hence, having no fixed view is the right view.
It is like flowing in a river, like floating in a river.
No, let's say first example of a flowing river. The flowing river does not have a fixed path. Depending on the conditions, it finds its path and then finally meets the sea. Floating in the river. Okay, floating in the river, if you want to decide that this is the way you want to go, then definitely it's a fixed view, because if the river current is strong, you cannot go. If it is too more, you'll put a lot of effort. So based on the conditions, you will be changing your swimming style. You understood? So your effort will change. Everything changes based on conditions. So having a view based on conditions around, and then interacting with those conditions, okay, is what is the right view.
Okay, so having that awareness, how to deal with it.
You see, here Buddha says, when the bhikkhus and Arya Savaka has abandoned in these matters doubt. What? Because doubt will come only when you already have something in mind. Then when somebody else is saying something, you doubt. Because now the doubt is born from a fixed view. But if you let the person speak as it is, consider the person is speaking his side of a version. If he is saying that, no, what he is seeing the number 9, and you don't want to argue with him that it is 6, you let it be like it is. Right? So then there is no argument, there is no doubt left. You accept his 9 even though you see it as a 6. Okay, so that's how it should be. So when a person has abandoned the doubt on what? On the 4 things, the 4 noble truths. Abandon the doubt in dukkha. Don't doubt that this world is full of sukha. No, the dukkha is the nature of the world. Why dukkha? Because impermanence is dukkha. If you go back, you says, what is dukkha? Is impermanence. Because the Panchaskandha are impermanent, hence this world is dukkha. He's not having a pessimistic view. He's saying that this is the nature of existence, right? That this world is full of dukkha, means it is full of impermanence, nothing is fixed. There is an origin to this dukkha. There is always a source that leads to the arising of dukkha. There is a way in which this dukkha is going to cease, and there is a path that leads to the cessation of dukkha. If one who understands this and has no doubt in this, definitely he is called the Strutapana.
Very detailed.
Yeah.
So moving on to next sutta, doctor, here the extensive view sutta to SN 24.8 Mahaditi Sutta. At Savatthi, because when what exists, by upadaya to what, by adhering to what does such a ditthi arise? There are these 7 bodies that are unmade, uncreated, unformed, without a creator, barren, steady as a mountain peak, standing firm like a pillar. They do not move, do not change, do not obstruct one another, and are incapable of causing one another sukha, dukkha, or both sukha, dukkha. What are the 7? The body of earth, the body of water, the body of fire, the body of air, sukh, dukh, and the life force as the 7. These 7 bodies are unmade, uncreated, unformed, without a creator, barren, steady as a mountain peak, standing firm like a pillar. They do not move, do not change, do not obstruct one another, and are incapable of causing one another sukha, dukkha, or both pleasure and pain. Even if one were to cut off someone's head with a sharp sword, one would not be taking anyone's life. The sword would merely pass through the space between the 7 bodies. There are 1400,000 principal kinds of birth, 600 kinds of deeds, 600 kinds of exertion, 500 kinds of karma, 5 kinds of karma, 3 kinds of karma, karma and half karma, 62 paths, 62 sub-yawns, 6 classes of birth, 8 stages of human existence, 49 kinds of livelihood, 49 kinds of wanderers, 49 kinds of naga dwellings, 20 kinds of faculties, 30 hills, 36 realms of dust, 7 kinds of conscious rebirths, 7 kinds of unconscious rebirths, 7 kinds of rebirths without attachment, 7 kinds of devas, 7 kinds of humans, 7 kinds of asuras, 7 kinds of lakes, 7 kinds of knots, 7 kinds of chasms, 700 kinds of chasms, 7 kinds of dreams, 700 kinds of dreams, and 8400,000 great eons, fools and the wise alike, having wandered and transmigrated through these, will make an end of dukkha. There is no such thing as this. By this morality, observance, austerity, or brahmacharya, I will ripen unripened karma or exhaust unripened karma by experiencing it. Sukha and dukkha are out as if by a bushel, and with sansara having a fixed limit. There is no decrease or increase, no excellence or inferiority. Just as a ball of thread, when thrown, unwinds as it goes, so too fools and the wise, unwinding, go on experiencing sukha and dukkha. Bhante, our dhamma are rooted in the Bhagavad. Because when Rupa exists, by Upadaya to Rupa, by adhering to Rupa, such a Ditya arises. There are these 7 bodies that are unmade. They go on experiencing Sukha and Dukkha. When Vedana exists, when Sanya exists, when Sankhara exists, when Vijnana exists. By Upadaya to consciousness, by adhering to consciousness, such a Ditya arises. There are these 7 bodies that are unmade. They go on experiencing Sukha and Dukkha. What do you think, Bhikkhus? Is Rupa Nitya or Anitya? Anitya Bhante. But that which is Anitya, Dukkha and subject to change, could such a Ditya arise without clinging? These beings are uncreated, not fashioned. They experience Sukha and Dukkha. No Bhante. That which is seen, heard, sensed, known, attained, sought and considered in the mana, is that Nitya or Anitya? Anitya Bhante. Could such a view arise without Upadaya? These beings are uncreated, not fashioned. Yet, being driven on, they experience Sukha and Dukkha. No Bhante. When Bhikkhus and Arya Shavaka has abundant doubt in these matters, has abundant doubt in Dukkha, in the origin of Dukkha, in the cessation of Dukkha, and in the path leading to cessation of Dukkha, such a one is called an Arya Shavaka, who is Sotapanna, no longer bound to the lower world, fixed in destiny, with enlightenment as their destination. So, Doctor, now the last line is very because in last sutta we talked about destiny. Now here they are talking about if somebody walks on this path, certain, then they are stream enterer. They are no longer bound to the lower world, fixed in destiny with enlightenment as their destination. So we'd like to know about this from you because initially the thinking patterns we see at the first page of the sutta here, Dr. They are talking about the 7 bodies and that are unmade, uncreated, unformed, without a creator, barren, steady as a mountain peak, standing firm like a pillar, and they do not move, do not change, do not obstruct one another, and are incapable of causing one another sukha, dukkha, or both sukha, dukkha. Now, these 7 are the 4 elements: the body of earth, water, fire, and air, sukha, dukkha, and the life force itself. So, but here we see the non-dependence on each other because they are not causing the sukha dukkha depending on means there is no dependency also here, but and then very large and complex things are mentioned here. 1400,000 principal kinds of birth and 6200 kinds of death, and it seems very complex, but Buddha has made it so clear and so simple. The sharp example of sharp sword also has come here. That even if one were to cut off someone's head with a sharp sword, one would not be taking anyone's life. Then that is really hard to understand. Also, such an extreme example. So we would like to know from you, Doctor, how, because such such strong views are still persistent into today's world also, how one should cope up with these kinds of views, and what should be, that action mode rather than the views and beliefs?
Yeah, so here again we go back to understanding what this sutra was trying to expound. It's talking about view, okay? And here again, if you look at the whole Eightfold Path of Buddha, starts with Samyak Drishti, that means right view. And Buddha is trying to tell us what is wrong view, defining what is a wrong view. A wrong view is something that clings onto either form, okay, feeling, then your conditioning, that's mental action, or your consciousness, or your thinking also, all these five panchaskandhas.
Yeah.
So when the whole process of clinging happens, view is born. And here Buddha is saying that all those people who are making and defining certain things are the people who are holding on to view. And when you hold on to view, it's itself a wrong view. Okay, because you can talk about 1400 kinds of birds, and you can talk about 600 kinds of deeds, and all the numbers you talk about this and that and everything. That still you're trying to fix something and say this is it. And when you say this is it, that itself is a wrong view, because to have any clinging to what you know, to what you think, what you experience, if you cling on to it, that self itself is a wrong view and will lead to nothing but the dukkha himself. Again, so Buddha is saying here very clearly. So when people define that there is a creator and this is his creation, that's a wrong view. If somebody says there is no creator and this is uncreated, that's a wrong view. So you holding on to something that is a cyclical process, a pratitya samutpad, and we are in between. It's like when the circle started, okay, we don't know when it started, who started it, what, but when it is completed and we are going in this circle, where will you find the starting point? It's not possible. So the best thing is to discuss about it itself is foolish. What needs to be talked about is your journey, that illusory self that you have, that you are the one that is suffering, this world is causing pain. That illusion, when that view goes away and you realize the right view. What is the right view? Of not having a fixed view. And when you see this, then you let go of all these kind of scholarly things, because these scholarly things, Buddha says, is nothing but there is like that ball of thread which when unwinded just keeps on going and going and going. So is a fool, and so is a person who is calling himself intelligent, the scholars. So a fool and a scholar are no different than two balls of thread just unwinding itself. They achieve nothing. But then who is the one who is going to achieve something? As he says that there is nothing called destiny. But if you fix on to the point that Buddha said there is nothing called destiny, that's also a wrong view. Because he said it contextually at that point. Now he is suddenly saying there is a destiny if you do this. So again, if you say, oh, he said this, that's also wrong. It is always contextual, based on the situation, based on the question. The answer is for the question, is not a statement. So always remember, Buddha's words are for the matter of concern of discussion that was being happened. Otherwise, Buddha has nothing to talk. Buddha is just sitting there watching his breath silently. That is the real form of Buddha. But the discussing Buddha, or teaching Buddha, is because of the people who need to know. And hence, it's the questions that make the answers, right? Otherwise, if there is no questions, technically there is no answer, right? So here, if you understand this, this is where the Buddha is saying that one who is abandoning the doubt on the Four Noble Truths has actually entered the world, the path, the stream, and is the stream enterer. And he is destined to achieve what? That enlightenment, that is the destination. And what is the enlightenment? Of conditioning the mind to not fix itself on any of these panchaskandhas.
Right. Doctor, here important line has also appeared that by this morality, observance, austerity and brahmacharya, the focus is on this fourth thing, because if one is claiming oneself as a moral, behaving with the observance, vrat, austerity and brahmacharya. So would like to share some views.
So again, having a fix. Now, morality is necessary when you are in a community, where you're in a society, okay, because you bring in harmony. It's a part of it, right? So morality as a part of your behavior in the society is important. Now, when you have realized that undressing is not right, being naked is not right, so you definitely wear your clothes. But when you go into a bathroom and say, no, undressing is not right, and you want to have a shower with your clothes on, that's foolishness. So where does your morality? It changes depending on the places and situations and circumstances. Here again he's saying that having a fixed view, no, this is it. We have told, Buddha said Panchashil, it should be like that. Having a fixed view of Panchashil also is wrong view. Having a fixed view of observance, you should observe fast. Now, observe fast because I want to have this, that's a wrong view again. Then austerity, I want to have an austerity life, I want to abandon everything, that's also a wrong view. Wanting something because you have an expectation and attachment or clinging to something is a wrong view. Brahmacharya itself, when sacrifice is also with an expectation, that's a wrong view. You understand?
Yeah. Very detailed sutta, doctor, but it's hard to have no view, because we are so much conditioned to have a view with the experiences we have been
But
through.
Buddha is giving you the secret mantra. Na? Don't cling on any of the Panchaskanda. Don't cling on to Rupa, Vedana, Sadhya, Sanskar, Vigyan. Don't cling on to it.
Yeah.
Then don't hold on to those things. Then what should you do? Should you let them go? No, you should not even let them go, because letting them go is also a view. So I don't hold it. You're saying you don't let it go. Then what? I always give an example. It's like a bird you hold in your hand. Not too tight that it dies, not too loose that it flies.
Yeah, perfect. Moving on to next sutta, doctor. SN 24.9 is Sasata Ditti Sutta. The cosmos is eternal. At Savatthi, because when what exists, by upadaya to what, by adhering to what does a such a ditti arise, the loka is eternal. Bhante or Dhamma are rooted in the Bhagava. Because when Rupa exists, by upadaya to Rupa, by adhering to Rupa, such a ditti arises. The world is eternal, the Vedana exists, when Sanya exists, when Sankhara exists, when Vijnana exists, by upadaya to consciousness, by adhering to consciousness, such a ditti arises. The world is eternal. What do you think, bhikkhus? Is Rupa Nitya or Anitya? Anitya bhante, subject to change. Could such a ditti arise without upadaya? The world is eternal? No bhante. Are Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, Nitya or Anitya? Anitya bhante. Could such a ditti arise without upadaya? The world is eternal? No bhante. That which is seen, heard, sensed, known, attained, sought, and considered in the mana, is that nitya or anitya? Anitya bhante. But that which is anitya, is it dukkha or sukha? Dukkha bhante. But that which is anitya, dukkha, and subject to change, could such a ditya arise without upadaya? The world is eternal? No bhante. When bhikkhus and Arya Savaka, who has abundant doubt in these matters, has abundant doubt in dukkha, in the origin of dukkha, the cessation of dukkha, and in the path leading to the cessation of dukkha, such a one is called an Arya Savaka, who is Sotapanna, stream enterer, no longer bound to the lower world, fixed in destiny, with enlightenment as their destination. So, this sutta is talking about eternalism. Now, when it comes to eternalism, that loka is eternal, then the permanence view comes in picture. But then again, Buddha, in a very simple language, taking a focus onto the Panchaskanda, focusing on the impermanence of the Panchaskanda, and thus thus it is leading us towards the dukkha, and understanding the four noble truths. That is the gateway of entering into the one step or towards the enlightenment, the Sotapatti. So, Doctor, would you like to share some of your views in detail regarding this?
Yeah. So here, if you look at it, what Buddha is making it clear again, the question here is about eternal life. People think that we can achieve that eternal life because the world is eternal and we will never, nothing will happen. In this different forms, the world will exist, and we will be existing in different worlds. So this is a kind of an eternalistic view that nothing ever will get destroyed. Everything will remain. This world will remain. Don't worry. Don't think about all that. Okay, don't think about there is going to be any kind of destruction or something. The world is going to be there. Then Buddha again wants to make sure, that what you're saying as an eternal, because you're having a fixed view. Now again, and then he is saying that, okay, because at the end, the world is made out of Panchaskandha. Okay, there will be form. If there is a world, that definitely will take a form. There will be feelings. There will be thinking. There will be mental action, and there will be consciousness also. That's where the world will exist, right? Without these five, the world cannot exist. And if the ingredients that make the world are itself impermanent, and something that is impermanent, definitely that is suffering, and something that is suffering is always going to be subject to change. And when things are like that, how can you call something that is subject to change as eternal? It is never going to be eternal. The only, you can say, permanent thing in this world is impermanence. Okay, the only thing that will never change is the changing world. And if people understand this, then they will realize that there is nothing to hold on to as something being permanent, because no world will remain permanent. Okay, now it is again conditional. Remember, the fact is, Buddha is talking again and again about conditional state and unconditional state. Okay, so it is the pratitya samutpada, the what do you say is the 12 linked cause and effect theory, wherein one thing leads to another thing, the domino effect continues. Okay, so here one has to understand that one who lets go of any clinging to or having any doubts on the Four Noble Truths and does not hold itself a view of clinging to the Panchaskandha is already a Srotapana and destined for enlightenment sometime in his life.
Yeah, and as you have said, the main source here is, although it's a 12 links, the clinging towards it. If there is a clinging, that is the source of dukkha, we can say, and we form such a ditti, develop over the period of time, such a strong view. So, doctor, here we have talked about the nihilism also the shunyata, the emptiness, also the eternalism. Now, next sutta, I think.
No, so you need to understand. One we studied is nihilist, who says there is nothing. Everything is going to just be not, there is nothing out there. The other is saying this is going to remain. Everything is there and everything will remain. Nothing is going to go anywhere. Everything. This is two views, right? So one is a nihilistic view, the other is a permanentalist view, right? But when we talk about shunyata, shunya is between these both. Saying that my existence is between these two. Okay, I will not fix myself in any of these extremes. I will see life as it is, as it unfolds. And I know that it's the conditions that create this existence. And hence, for something to not be there, it is conditional. For something to be there, it is conditioned. Hence, being conditional, the only thing I can work on is conditions.
Doctor, let's take last sutta for today. Because it is similar to the previous one, but here they are talking about the non-eternalism.
Okay.
SN 24.10 Asasatta Ditti Sutta. The cosmos is not eternal at Savatthi, because when what exists by upadaya to what, by adhering to what does such a ditti arise, the world is not eternal. Bhante or Dhamma rooted in the Bhagava. Because when Rupa exists, is Vijnana consciousness nature or anicca? The same story has been repeated, so we have taken it as in original Pāli text it was shortcut, doctor, so we have translated it like that. So it is impermanent, Bhante. Could such a ditti arise without upadaya? The world is not eternal? No, Bhante. That which is seen, heard, sensed, known, attained, sought and considered in the mana, is that permanent or impermanent? Anicca, Bhante. Could such a view arise without Upadaya? The world is not eternal? No, Bhante. When Bhikkhus and Arya Savaka has abandoned doubt in these matters, has abandoned doubt in dukkha, in the origin of dukkha, in the cessation of dukkha, and in the path leading to the cessation of dukkha, such a one is called an Arya Savaka, who is Sotapanna, stream enterer, no longer bound to the lower world, fixed in destiny, and with enlightenment as their destination. It was the last 10th sutta in this series, Doctor. Now it is about non-eternalism.
Yeah, so again, non-eternal, definitely very easy to understand because everything is impermanent, so it becomes a short sutra, right? Now, the challenge is people do agree that this is not eternal, it is subject to change. Now, here, the most important thing is, let's see this word where they say, that which is seen, okay? That means using your senses, heard, again senses, sensed, maybe because of the feeling, known because of the experience, because of the knowledge, attained because of your actions, okay, sought because of your craving, your your vows or your desire, you want to seek something out, or and consideration because of your understanding, okay. All these are in the mind, okay, and all these, so basically this is nothing but the definition of an experience, because experience is always seen, heard, sensed, known, attained, sought,
Right.
and considered, right?
Right.
That's an experience. Now, based on that, when you know that, is an experience permanent or impermanent?
Impermanent.
Exactly. When experience is itself impermanent, why do people suffer in the experience that they had in the past? When they know that experience is impermanent and my new experience can be a new experience itself,
Yeah.
and I do not need to worry about what the experience was before. So if people understand this, they get the secret mantra that every mistake is something that I need not worry about because
Yeah.
it is impermanent.
Yeah.
So when mistakes are impermanent, then there is no guilt. There is no feeling of failure. Then there is only one option, one door left, is to try it out again, is to put an effort again,
Yeah.
is try to better now the next action.
Yeah.
So once you understand this, then you know that experience itself is impermanent.
Yeah. When you are talking about this experience, doctor, and having a bad experience, we tend to rewind the same cassette again and again. We tend to rewind that same video, playing that same old story.
Yeah, so
And-
here it's the same thing.
Uh-huh.
What you saw, if you liked, what you heard, if you liked, what you sensed, if you liked, what you know, you like, what you attained, if you like, what you seek is what you like, and what you consider is what you like,
Yeah.
you will gain an attachment to that experience and you will crave for it again and again.
Yeah,
and your
yeah,
craving is born.
Yeah.
If you dislike the seen, heard, sensed, known, attained,
Yeah.
sought, and considered, you're going to have a kind of a repulsion, you're going to have a disgust to it, and again, you're going to lead yourself into suffering. So, craving on one side for wanting things, craving on the other side for not wanting things, both will lead you to suffering.
Right, very right, doctor. So now, can we summarize today's session, doctor? Like again, because this is non-eternalism. Previous was eternalism. Also, we talked about shunyata and the nihilistic views. So, do you want to compare and give a short summary?
So
for
I
us?
think the essence of today's sutras is that one needs to not have a fixed view on anything. View needs to be dependent on the circumstances, the situations, the conditions, and hence your view is going to be so much dependent on conditions and circumstances that one has to be aware of his circumstances and conditions to have a view. Without awareness, there's never going to be a view. Hence, even though Buddha talks about samyak drishti, the right view, where is that going to be cultivated? It's going to be cultivated in awareness. How do you get yourself into that state of awareness? By practicing the art of being in meditation, where you are cultivating awareness. That's like practicing 9 to 0, 29 to 0, 99 to 0. Over a period of time, this awareness that you will cultivate will become your nature. This nature will lead you to having that awareness, to have the right view towards life, and then the whole Eightfold Path will unfold, and then the path that will lead you to Nirvana is definitely there. You're a Stotapana.
Great journey looks great, doctor. But like, simple question: Like if we are setting some goals, and we are not talking about nihilistic views, eternalism, non-eternalism, but for me, or any person out there who has set the goals, reaching that goal and developing the system around it for the repeated time, that repetition is the key of success, they say. So how one should, and you are talking about having no views here, so how
No, like
one
you used
should progress?
now you used a statement, a very straightforward statement. Repetition is the
Key.
key to success. So a person who's going to repeat his mistake again and again, is he going to be successful?
No.
Exactly. So you should understand that statements are made based on context. Okay, we can use them contextually. But when you want to go on a journey towards the goal that you set out, that journey itself, that experience is also going to be ever changing. So be ever ready, be always aware to make sure that your view, is adapting to what is necessary at that particular moment and of time, and that particular moment of situation or circumstances and interactions, and then not losing on the focus and attention on the goal that you want to achieve. So one, if he understands it, like as a meditation practitioner, our ultimate aim is to achieve that state of nirvana, a state where there is complete bliss, a peaceful state of the mind, where the mind is not disturbed at all. That's the ultimate state we have to reach. But for that, if you tell me, is there a fixed path? No. It will change. It will be different for different people. Destination might be same, but the journey is always different, because everybody is different and the things on that journey are ever changing.
Right, doctor. As you have said that enlightenment may be the goal, but then I remember Ananda's story. When Ananda was trying, after the Mahaparinirvan of Buddha under the Sada tree, the first Sangiti needed to happen, and Anand was not the eligible member. Why? Because he has not attained the Arhat, or he enlightenment. So he tried so hard. He tried whole night. He was meditating because he has one goal in front of him, and he was trying so hard towards reaching that goal. But he was not successful. When he means was out of that meditation posture and tried to lie down on his pillow, at that very moment he got enlightenment. So message here is like, even that goal which we have set for ourselves, and we are talking about the journey, because that journey will be different and it is not defined for each and every person. So when you let go of that goal also and be on that journey to do, then automatically I think so the destiny also works for you, and final goal of enlightenment also comes your way. You want to add anything, doctor, here?
No, the first thing is the view that a man who was so close to Buddha, not knowing the path, the truth, that not holding on to view, itself is something very difficult for me to digest, because I know there is no attainment as such, which was defined by Buddha, that, okay, you put in so much hours of meditation and you will get this. No. It was not like that. And nobody could ever tell you whether you have attained it or not. Only the person knows, because it's always a personal experience. Only a Buddha knows that he is a Buddha. The world will not know. Understood? So always remember this. And I think holding on to a view like that is also a wrong view. So the best thing is that, yes, we know that it is always situational, it is always circumstantial, that we need to be aware of and act based on that. And so I always give an example. When somebody is going to yell fire, 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 you better ask or go and check what type of fire it is. It could be just incense sticks burning and creating smoke. You don't need to call the fire brigade. Maybe the whole house is on fire. Definitely you need to ring the fire brigade. So you need to know everything through a kind of a cognitive discussion or logical reasoning, or personally witnessing it, analyzing it, being aware of all the 360 sides of that particular thing, and then acting based on that. And that's a skill that one acquires, because he is able to practice that kind of a skill. So one has to acquire a skill. And Awareness is a skill that one can acquire, and Buddha just gave us that path, a methodology through which you can cultivate that awareness, which can become your skill, which will help you to let yourself free from this world of samsara, which is habitual to clinging. And once who is free from clinging is free from samsara.
Oh, so clinging is the basic source of unhappiness and unsatisfactoriness, and thus the dukkha. And thus, one who understands this, all the Four Noble Truths can be understood by the person. And the repeated message I'm hearing from today's session is to not hold on to views. Again, be adaptable and do not judge is the in modern day psychology statement we could say do not judge
Yeah,
with your
don't be careful, but don't be careless too. Don't hold on to views, but don't let loose of the views also. So both ways, you have to have it right, perfect. That's it. Not too much of salt, not too less of salt. The salt should not mask the taste of the food, or should not be so much that the taste of the food is so offensive that you cannot eat. So it should be
yeah
perfect, right? Okay.
at the same time having no view, at the same time having that 360 degree of awareness.
No, not no view.
Uh-huh.
Having see, view means you are looking at things as it is. When you'll say no view means just be blinded, careless. What others are thinking, I don't care.
Can we say having no fixed views?
Having no fixed view. That's the answer.
Yeah. So this has summarized our session very well today. So if there are any questions online, we can take it up, or otherwise we are good to go for today's session. So there are no online questions. Thanks for listening to us, and thank you, Doctor, for sharing your valuable and precious time
Thank you.
and your views in today's session. We will meet tomorrow for Sunya Talks, Ekotaragama, Hindi at 8:30 a.m. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you. हाँ, नहीं ज्वाइन किया उसने, वो क्योंकि वो बोलीविया में है और वो रात के बज गए वहाँ पे 1:30 कुछ।
स्विगी वाले के कितने कॉल आ गए इसलिए मैं थोड़ा ये हो गई कि कंटिन्यूस कॉल किया जा रहा है। 1 घंटा लगाया, 20 मिनट डिलीवरी बोल के 1 घंटा लगाया उसने डिलीवर करना। अभी पता नहीं आया है कि नहीं। 8 कॉल्स।